Okay, so if you're looking for ways to take the basic alternating thumb groove and do something a little more grooving with it, this is one way that you can make that happen. This sounds like a syncopated, more sort of R&B style bass line, but it actually is built on the same kind of alternating thumb picking that your basic Travis or pattern picking is. It's a pretty cool idea, and it lets you play a lot of nice blues things on top. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's lesson. And if you'd like to get started with some basic blues tunes to start to get your fingerstyle blues repertoire together, check out my PDF, The 5 8-Bar Blues You Should Know. You can get a link to it directly below. Okay, so alternating thumb picking, if you were in E, this would be your thumb rocking between the 6th string and the 4th string. Now, if you start damping the 4th string by letting your left hand play in a more relaxed way whenever you're hitting beats 2 and 4, now you've got this backbeat on 2 and 4. So you're really hearing the bass just on 1 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you can add in one more bass note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This is where things start to get syncopated and start to sound different. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then if you can start to move the bass line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going from the root to the 3rd of E, the root of A, and the root of B. So 1 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. There's the foundation. Then you just got to figure out how to put some licks on top. Now, one way to think about putting licks on top is to think in terms of chord shapes. There's an E chord, and here's another E chord. So here's the 3rd that we're going to put in the bass. And then here's the 5th and the flat 7. So you get this E7 chord. And then here's A. And here's B. So if we just deal with the chords. So the bass is still going and the backbeat is still being damped. But on the downbeats, we can grab a chord and maybe play another note afterwards. Maybe get the chord as an anticipation. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the fingers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's just putting little bits of chord stuff in around the bass and the damping and the chord shapes. Like that. And finally, once you have this sort of feel pretty well assimilated, then you can start to think in terms of playing single note licks. So the notes, you can get these single notes as long as this finger and these guys are, you might practice it just by like holding down one note, like an E root on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. downbeats again, pinching, and then the index finger comes in to get the damping behind the note, so this can still ring out. And then you can start to move that note around. If you do a stop time, you can play whatever you want during that moment. So that's the idea. It's just a way to take that basic idea of alternating the thumb and turn it into a different kind of groove. And you can build it up using those steps. So just playing the bass with the damp note on 2 and 4, and then adding in on the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Looking in terms of the chord shapes that you're going to grab on top and letting some of those chord notes ring out. And then finally doing the single note stuff where you've got the bass moving, but you're damping behind the note that you're playing on top. So have fun trying that out. And if you're looking for more blues ideas to try, check out my membership, the Fingerstyle 5 at fretboardconfidential.com, where you can find all kinds of lessons on playing solo instrumental fingerstyle blues. Hope you have fun working on this lesson. If you got a question or a comment about it, leave it for me down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.